Hey everyone, happy new moon in Gemini that's coming up. We're already on the shadow side of it. That would be May 30th, 2022. So this will be a reading for that. I went ahead and pulled the new moon in Gemini card from the Moonology deck, as well as a few other cards from the others that are related to it. So we'll go ahead and read from the books on that. And at the end, I will go ahead and live pull a few cards from the Soul's Journey Lesson cards and just read from my shorthand on that one. We're also in the middle of a Mercury retrograde still, which started in Gemini May 10th and ends June 3rd in Taurus. So I think we're already moved into the Taurian energy on that one. And of course, for some of us, you'll get the shadow side of it as well. So it may last an extra couple weeks after that. So keep that in mind. New moon in Gemini. Communication is key. A successful relationship usually comes down to one thing: communication. And the new moon in Gemini card is all about the start of a new cycle for communicating with the person at the center of your question. Talking things through is the answer to whatever it is you're asking about. If you can't talk to that person, you can journal about it to yourself. Emails, text messages, and other forms of communication will also help you now. If the issue you're asking about concerns a sibling or neighbor, there's a new start coming, a time to wipe the slate clean and start over. This card could also suggest you've been too frivolous lately and need to get grounded again. But most importantly, drawing this card emphasizes the need to communicate. Attune to the moon. Write a list of all the people you love most and see if you're prioritizing them. Additional meanings for this card. Time to tell someone how you feel. Don't be all in your head and not in your heart. Someone is flirting with you. Read more books. The teaching. Gemini is a sign of communication and socializing, of ideas and travel, and the energy around it and around this card, no matter when you pull it, is speedy, gossipy, and flirtatious. The new moon in Gemini is a wonderful time to get out and socialize. Gemini loves a chat. One thing to be aware of is that this card can also indicate being mentally scattered. Daily meditations will help to unscramble your crossed wires in your brain. All right, and the first chakra card we're going to read is 21, communication. 21 breaks down to a 3. It may have significance for you. Okay, let's get to that. Throat chakra, communication. You've called upon this card today to let you know it's an important time for communication. All healthy connections and relationships are built on a solid base of good communication. It is easy to hold back or alter your words in order to prevent hurting someone's feelings, fear of rejection, or the possibility of creating some form of conflict. However, it is important that you share your thoughts and feelings honestly with those around you to create and build long-lasting, healthy relationships. When you doubt, hinder, or manipulate the flow in communication, this interference blocks the throat chakra and can create a world of suppression and confusion. Holding on to unexpressed thoughts and feelings can lead to pain, confusion, and unhealthy patterns. Take a moment to see if there is anyone in your life you are not communicating effectively with due to fear, rejection, and maybe even unwanted conflict. You are being encouraged at this time to speak up and share your feelings. Communication can also mean writing your feelings down on paper, which is also a good tool to use. Do what is required to action your communication. You may even like to try some healing and clearing processes on your throat chakra. A few great crystals to work with to clear this chakra are blue lace agate, blue kyanite, and chrysocolla. Take some time and space for yourself. Place the crystal on your throat chakra and breathe in the crystal's energy, helping it open and clear. Make sure you are communicating from a place of love and compassion, and that your delivery is clear and centered. Communication is also about listening. Make sure that as you communicate, you also listen with an open heart and without judgment. As you trust, you will feel a huge weight off your shoulders, and a natural healing will occur. You will feel a deeper connection with yourself and those around you. The affirmation with this card is, I communicate in all ways with ease and grace. The next card I pulled from this deck is 24, listening. Throat chakra, also. You have drawn this card today to let you know it's time to take note and listen. Messages and guidance come in many forms, and you are being asked to stop for a moment and listen to the wisdom that is coming your way. You may have asked for a sign or some guidance recently. The answer will be revealed if you listen carefully. The most profound guidance comes from within, and it's time to start listening and trusting your own soul. Take some time to meditate and explore the silence in order to hear the powerful words of divine guidance coming from within you. Your angels and guides are also sharing their thoughts with you at this time. Answers may also come via songs, other people's conversations, or some other external source sharing this wisdom with you. Listen carefully to what is being presented to you at this time. This card can also suggest that you are not listening deep enough at present. It could be that someone is sharing how they feel or their perception of a situation, and you have not been listening with an open heart, which may be causing miscommunication, challenges, and conflict. People will always have different perceptions and experiences, and it's important to allow both sides of the story to be heard and expressed. When we can understand this and not take people's expressions personally, we can be open to a world of unconditional love and communicate more from a place of love and understanding. Listen deeper in the silence, and your answers will be revealed in divine timing. The affirmation of this card: I listen contently and hear the words of wisdom loud and clear. The next card I pulled was from the Messages from the Mermaids deck. Shocker, right? We'll see what the mermaids have to say about communication. All right. Pick up your phone and make that call. There's something you need to communicate, and now's the time to do it. You can see this mermaid communicating with a turtle. This shows that communication can take many forms. It's not only verbal, but can also be telepathic. Animals communicate using colors and frequencies. Perhaps you feel that things were left unsaid in recent conversation. Sometimes we can get tongue-tied during an honest encounter, and the words just won't flow. If this is the case, you can write a letter, an email, or a text. It's vital to articulate things that are important to you, and writing them down is a great way to do this. You can then choose to send the communication to the other person or not. You'll know what to do with it once you've expressed your feelings. Sometimes we don't have the opportunity to express the things we wish because the other person has passed on. If this is the case, using the method of writing everything down can be very cathartic. It could be that someone wishes to communicate with you, and you're not giving them space to do so because you think you won't like what they have to say. If you have an active imagination, things can seem bad when really it's often less harsh. When we communicate with love and compassion, we can experience miraculous breakthroughs. This mermaid is also saying you could be called to mediate between other people's communications and to ensure both sides are heard. And it could be time to consider training to become a counselor. Or perhaps it would be beneficial for you to see one yourself and get some things off your chest. And the card I pulled from the Halloween Oracle is Spider. Community and web weaving. She spins her silk alone in the dark with hope of collection, sticky with dreams, weaving the world's a wide web of connection. Masses of sticky spider webs make any Halloween decorations complete. The idea of a haunted house covered in the artwork of a big hairy spider is a classic horror. Even those of us who appreciate our eight-legged friends still hurriedly brush off those stealthy webs if we run into them in the dark. Although most spiders are not venomous, humans have an innate fear of them. Perhaps it's the fangs or the poison. Perhaps it's all those legs and the way they move. Perhaps it's where they live, often in dark, hidden places, or the way our Western popular culture has demonized them by making them giant, fierce, and man-eating. Some cultures, though, revere the spider in very positive ways. In many Native American traditions, for example, the spider is the creature that gives birth to all other animals and sustains the web of life. The goddess spider grandmother, and there is also a spider woman, is a key deity that brings wisdom, safety, and communication to all the tribes. She created and wove all the stars in the sky and makes soft webs for those that are troubled to rest upon and be supported by. Spiders' webs can be seen as symbols of connection, not necessarily entrapment. There is a fine line sometimes between a family or community supporting us and controlling us. This card looks at this discernment. It also suggests you review the way you communicate with the wider community, at work or generally with others, and take steps to improve this or do it slightly differently. It also indicates that there needs to be a balance between what you do for yourself and what you do for others. If we give too much to the outside, our strength diminishes and we cannot weave the supporting web for ourselves. I'm going to go ahead, shuffle our Soul's Journey lesson cards and see if there's a few lessons that may be pertinent to some of you. See what Spirit has to say. Spirit, what guidance do you have for the collective at this time, for whom it will resonate for when the time is divine? Please and thank you. Just a few. Let's not go crazy. I'm going to read from my notes. There's one. There's two. There's three. Now what do we got here? We have peace, purpose, and grief. We'll start with grief. Grief. Nothing is gone forever. Belief of loss is an illusion. The lesson of loss is to acknowledge the bonds of love never end, and we have not been abandoned. Acceptance and heart that you will be reunited, and allow something beneficial from the experience that leads to deeper understanding. Peace. This is a reminder to balance the mind so your soul can live in its true nature. Good time to look around and see what's been taking peace rather than giving. Healing, cutting cords, shadow work, or grounding may be needed. Creating harmony is necessary at this time. And last is purpose. Come on, guys, make room. There we go. Purpose. I know what I am here to do. The purpose of life is to love. As souls, we incarnate is to learn love through all obstacles and challenges. Follow what leads your soul in this lifetime towards joy and love. Unhappiness is a sign that your soul is saying there is a better way to manifest love. Follow your intuition. All right, guys, there you go. Have a great new moon in Gemini.